Recording in progress.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our council meeting this afternoon. I'd like to call this meeting to order. I'll ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest under the Conflict of Interest Act. Disclose it now. Okay, so I've got a resolution moved by Councillor Dirksen. Seconded by Councillor Elliott, that the minutes of the Town of Minto, October 28th, 2025 regular council meeting be approved. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Resolution moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the Council of the Town of Minto convene into the Court of Revision. All in favor of that motion? That's carried. So the Court of Revision today on our committee is myself, Deputy Mayor Jean Anderson, and Councillor Gunson. If the rest of the council wouldn't mind standing down, that would be appreciated. I'd like to ask that if you're speaking, would you please attend the mic? And I'll ask, so when you're pushing the button, most of you folks have been here before and have talked on that microphone. When you push the button, the light turns green. And if all else fails, Quinn will holler at you. Let you know we can't hear you. Maybe CAO White or White Fertney would tend the mic. I was just thinking.
Can I go ahead and call it?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would you mind going ahead and calling this to order?
Thank
please?
you. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I am looking for an appointment of the chair, please.
Can I make a motion to appoint Mayor Turton as the chair?
Thank you. Thank you. All those in favor? That is passed. I'll pass it over to the chair, Turton, now.
Okay, so I will ask, I'll ask if there's any disclosure of pecuniary interest and the general nature thereof. Seeing none, the purpose and the background information. The purpose of the Court of Revision meeting is to hear appeals to the schedule of assessment for Minto Drain 95, located on Part Lot 26, Concession 5, Town of Minto, County of Wellington, and the following are attached to the agenda. 4.1 is the Court of Revision jurisdiction attached. 4.2 is the provision bylaw, and municipal drain 95-2025 is attached. And written appeals of assessment. All appeals are required to be received within 10 days. November 8th was the date, 2025, prior to the date of the Court of Revisions as per October 20th, 25 notice. Okay, is there any landowners that are appealing today? If so, we'll have to have a motion, discretion of the court. But if there's no one appealing, we'll skip that step. Okay, seeing none.
It's required. No, once it's required, then it's
Okay. Then we'll move on to engineering evidence if required. Mr. Greg Nanskaville from RJ Burnside and Associates Limited will give evidence regarding each appeal before the court, and there is no appeal, so we'll move on. Questions from the members. Members of the Court of Revision may ask questions of the engineer or staff. So today, is there anything that you want to add, Ryan, Greg? It's a very simple process today. There's no appeals. So we'll move right along. So question from members. If there's no questions, then we'll have, I'm just going by what I got on my sheet here. And we don't do this every week, so sometimes it's kind of confusing, but appellant's comments. There's no appeals, so we'll go to number 10, which is questions from the landowners. And if there's any Landowners here require, you want to speak? Now's the time. Go to the mic. Okay,
No deliberations. Oh, is that on? Good. Hi, everybody. Patricia Lane, live at 9098 Side Road 6 South. Main question is why our assessment amounts have doubled. I would like to see a detailed analysis as to how they come up with this. I don't want to be just shown, I owe $4,000, now I owe $8,000. I would like to know how they came to that amount.
okay.
Also, I would like to know in detail how the monies are paid. When you are billed, do you have to do the money up front? Can you wait until they're done to see if we're satisfied with their job? Do we have any say in the matter whatsoever?
Okay, so you have two questions, Pat.
Yeah,
All right.
that's pretty much it.
Okay, thank you for the questions. Do we want to answer those two questions first? And if there's other questions, Greg? Then please go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll try to answer those questions here as best I can with hopefully as much detail that satisfies you. The John Cox property has a total cost of that section. When we're assessing out costs, we break the drainage system down into sections. And the open ditch section on the John Cox property, the total cost of that is estimated to be $104,940. And to the question, in 2023, with the information we handed out, the total estimated cost of that particular section of drain was actually $69,200. So it did go up by $35,000, largely in part to 2 years down the road. When we looked at our cost estimate, our mobilization estimate went up by approximately $1,400. Channel deepening and widening with 2-to-1 side slopes results in more excavation, obviously, and more land taken from the top width, which we have to provide allowances for land taken too. So it was the channel deepening, widening, environmental concerns like a stilling basin. The stilling basin was about $8,000 in our estimate. And the increase in allowances for right-of-way and damages, that went up by about $2,000. And then when we're doing these cost estimates, we have a contingency kind of built in. It's usually about 10%. So that contingency was added as well. And during construction, if that contingency is not needed, then obviously it won't have to be paid for. Engineering and administration went up as well. So if we look at mobilization, channel deepening, widening, 2-to-1 side slopes, stilling basin, increase in allowances, contingencies, and engineering and admin, that's about 26,000 right there with those items. And there are other more less significant items, but they do all add up. With the assessment of cost of that $104,940, the John Cox property is receiving a new culvert crossing, and we assessed as benefit 50% of the culvert crossing to John Cox himself. 50%. The other 50% we assessed to upstream landowners. The remainder, the culvert crossing was about $20,000. 50% of that's about $10,000. When we take that off, we're left with $94,000 to assess out. Of that $94,000, we assessed 15% of that to benefit. And of that 15%, which works out to be $14,181, we assessed 75% of that 15% as a direct benefit to the Cox property. The remaining 25% of that 15%, $3,500, we assess to the immediately upstream landowner that has a direct connection to that open ditch, which in this case is Daniel Angst and Natalie Angst Tappledeck. And then the remaining 85% we assessed as outlet to all the lands in the watershed upstream of the Cox property. So that's how we come up with that, and hopefully that's enough detail to help you out. And
That
when
does
it,
make me feel a little bit better, rather than just giving me a number. Like, doesn't it sound fair that you should explain it?
Pat, would you mind making your way to the mic, please, and speak? You okay?
But no, you should give it to me in writing. I would appreciate that.
Are you okay with that?
I can do that.
Okay.
Yep.
Second question.
So, second question, I believe, was how do they pay? When do they pay? And do they get to more or less review the end results before they pay? The bills will go out after the work has been completed completely, and will assist the municipality with putting together final assessments. And we apply for the grant on everyone's behalf, or we assist the municipality in doing that anyway. And I don't believe you can't really withhold payment until you kind of see how things work. But under the Drainage Act, there is, if you have some issues with the quality of work that's been done, there is a section of the act where you can appeal the quality of construction. And you have 1 year, I believe, to do that. Probably the invoices will go out. It's a one-time pay usually. And some municipalities, I'm not sure how Minto works, but some municipalities, if you are faced with a significant assessment, they can kind of hit you out of the blue. The timing's not always right for everyone. Sometimes there are like debentures or something similar that can be worked out, but that's entirely up to Minto, and maybe Greg knows whether you offer something like that.
Greg's left, but Brian, do you want to add, please?
Yep, through you, Chair Turton. We do offer a brief payback period. I think we withhold interest payments for 1 year after the invoice is out, for sure. And then, yeah, if you need help to add some time to pay your bills, you just would have to pay the interest on top of that after 1 year.
So the time clock starts for 1 year after payment? So
Yes. After they receive their invoice, they have 1 year to pay it interest free.
and then 1 year after that, if I'm not happy with the work, I can appeal it.
Within 1 year of that, I believe, right?
Okay. You okay with that, John? Pat? Okay. Good. Other questions? Okay, make your way to the mic, sir, please.
I'm Tony Wouters from the 7th line.
Right.
I have a question about your assessment made. Is it going to increase again? Like 2 years ago, you had an assessment and now it's way more money. So it increases again before you start to work.
Greg, would you mind answering that, please?
Yep.
Thank you.
Through you, Mr. Mayor. No, the estimate won't change, but it will be based and adjusted based on the contract price. So if the contract price comes in, if it comes in lower, it'll be adjusted proactively. And by the same token, if it comes in more expensive, it will be more expensive. We try to be 10 to 15% high. We hope to be on the high side because people don't mind a pleasant surprise, but they don't like unpleasant surprises. So I hope that answers.
So you estimate high and hope it comes in low.
That's what we do.
Okay, thank you. Other questions? All right, then we'll move along. Thank you. We have there's no appeals. Everybody seems happy, so I see no reason why we can't go ahead with the next step. Annalee?
So if I may, if we wanted to jump ahead to the Court of Revision decision, because there is no deliberations that are required, if I could bring forward just a motion for consideration,
Thank you. Please do that.
that the Town of Minto Court of Revision accepts the assessment for municipal train 95 as presented. I would need a mover and a seconder.
Mover and a seconder, please. Thank you. Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Gunson. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. And if there's nothing else, I'm going to adjourn this Court of Revision. John? Is this questioning or?
Just a quick question. Dave.
Okay, I'll allow that.
Mr. Mayor, just a quick question. I'm just wondering, when the tendering process is being done, would it be possible to give all the landowners notice as far as how the tendering is looking? Are we up? Are we under? You know, are things looking just about the same? Like, kind of give us status reports along the way. The last thing we want is surprises.
Mhm.
And I think if we look at what happened from 2023 to 2025, I'll be honest with you, it was a surprise. The fellows gave me a lot of info and I was able to work through it. Then I understood a lot better what had happened. But I would just ask that as we're tendering and as the tenders are being done, just please give us updates so we're aware of where we are, where we stand. And, you know, guys, it looks like we're going to be under, going to be over, going to be about the same. That's all.
Any problem with that, Greg? Is that normal?
It's not exactly normal, but I don't see anything wrong with it. If the municipality would like to share that before, we have recommendations.
Go ahead, Annalee,
Just
please.
to let you know, the tendering process at the Town of Minto is in open session during council, and that motion will be made in open council and will be available for anyone to see and look at on our agendas and minutes. So it comes forward to council, they make their decision on who they're accepting, and then that is known for everyone. But, you know, if you wanted to call in or whatever, I would gladly give you that information. That is free public information for anyone to see.
Yes, John, I don't think we answered your question, so, yeah, go ahead. We want to be clear on this.
Just one more question. When that tendering is going to council, can we be notified? The reason is I don't live in town. I just want to make sure that, you know, when we're there, so we can be up to date, that we're aware that we can attend the council meeting.
Any idea when that is coming?
I don't have a date right now. Again, there's a whole process into the tendering. I'm not sure how many people are on the train, but I mean, if that is something that you really want to know, I can probably send it out to you if you want it, to make sure you signed, put your email address on there if you have one. And you would be able to actually watch our meeting electronically if you so wish, if you're not able to attend, and you can see the process then. So just make sure that you have signed in and put your name, and you can say a little star beside it, so I would know to notify you if that's what you would so wish.
Do we have a tentative date when that is going to happen in the new year?
For tendering, probably in the new year.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Thank you very much for coming. If you want to stay for the rest of our meeting, that's fine. If you want to vacate right now, that's okay as well. And I would ask the council and our CAO to come.
You guys should have left when you said, wow. You guys should have left when you said, yeah, we tried.
You got it. They left that door for you guys.
Okay, moving right along, I have a resolution moved by Councillor Botnovich, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the town of the Minto the Town of Minto Court of Revision convene into committee of the whole. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. We have no public meetings, but we do have a delegation. Today we have, we are going to hopefully have a discussion on our community improvement plan update. Sean Kelly is here from Yale Euro. Sean, welcome.
To you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone, for having me tonight. I'm from Plural, just south of you in Center Wellington. And we've been working in this community for a very long time. Tonight, we're going to be talking about, or this afternoon, talking about the community improvement plan update. I believe it's the third one we've been involved with, and I would like to show you and tell you what's going on with it. Next slide, please. Before I start, I'd also like to thank certainly Belinda Witt-Graham, the Director of Economic Community Development, who certainly helps guide the process and make sure we're doing the job right, even though she's hiring us. I get it, sometimes it's a back and forth. And there's a few other individuals, certainly Director of Building and Planning Services, the Treasurer. In my office, I'm Sean Kelly. We were also joined by Jacqueline Short and Tori Collicutt. Next slide, please. So tonight, it feels like tonight for me, it's the afternoon, I know. Updating a CIP, I want to go over that a bit quickly on the CIP process itself, the Minto CIP overview, where you've been, the goals that you're seeking, the project areas, we call them CIPAs, and proposed financial incentive programs that are available to the community and the town, and obviously implementation is important as well. Quick piece about updating a CIP. Community improvement plan is really an economic development tool required to provide financial incentives to community members, business property owners, and their tenants. It's grants and loans typically. And the whole kit and caboodle with this is really to encourage the maintenance and rehabilitation of existing commercial, industrial, institutional, and heritage buildings and structures, improvement of commercial signage, and redevelopment of vacant and underutilized properties and buildings. The updates do occur periodically. We make a change, we add a program. You'll want to have an update provided. Everything is legislated under the Planning Act, and there's a due process with that. The process on the next slide, please, is really you put it together. We meet with the town's economic development manager, director. We review research, analyze, obviously. We draft the plan based on the information we found. We have to give notice of a statutory public meeting. That's a requirement. We have to have a statutory public meeting. We get the notice out. We have to have the public meeting. We have a 20-day appeal period. As you might all know, we bring a draft final to council, which we're doing this afternoon. We also ask the town to provide a copy to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing. Really, that's just about getting their blessing, making sure we're following what we need to follow. Getting the approval is really the notice of the statutory public meeting, then having that meeting. To finalize it, that's really about tonight, taking the draft final here. Hopefully it moves to final, and then having the town provide it to the Ministry of Municipal Affairs and Housing, which has already happened. We had some pretty benign comments back to us, all made in the current document. So I think we're in really, really good shape. The update overview for us is really, if we go back and look at satisfying the town's needs, or certainly the evolution of the needs for the town as far as CIP's work, the first one was done in 2009, and it really dealt with downtown core and the facade and signage programs. And what we're going to kind of demonstrate right now is that we've moved from downtown, the commercial areas of the downtown cores, which were typically the fodder for CIPs. And then what happens then, the trend was, let's move them out a bit and let's go out to urban service boundaries and find those. So you had a second update, or first update, sorry, in 2015, and one more incentive program, the new structural improvement grant. 2019 update actually enlarged the SEPA, the community improvement project areas, to the full town boundary, and new programs were also brought on suit with that update. That's a very on-trend piece. We're working all across the province on similar things, and everyone's going to the extents and limits of their town, their township, or their municipality. This document's still about 50 pages long, 6 sections specific to the town of Minto. The content is really about community and stakeholder consultation, the legislative requirements that we need, the actual delineation of the CIP area, the 9 financial incentive programs available. 3 of those are new for 2025 or for 2026. Eligibility guidelines, application requirements, and examples of those, and then anything that matches what the county's doing. The goals for this update really was given to us in a generalized fashion. Minto is a place for family and friendly business. We knew that. Stimulate pride in Minto's downtowns, urban areas, and rural areas. Supporting a local housing supply and certainly contributing to the well-being, the community's well-being. Next slide, please. When we get into the CIPAs, or the Community Improvement Project areas, I can just say basically all lands within municipal boundaries of the town are now fair game through this current update. Next slide. So you can see a listing here of the 9 programs that you have available to you. 3 of these are new for 2025. I'll go through each of these, but the 3 that are highlighted with green are your new ones. And as you see the numbering going, how I pulled out the 3, 4, and 7 towards the end. So I'm going to go in order here. Next slide, please. So I'll just talk quickly about and give you an overview of your existing programs. If you're interested and you can't recall, facade improvement and signage grant. Well, that's really promote aesthetic improvements, facade upgrades, and/or architectural preservation improvement of downtown cores. Where typical, the facade improvement signage grant may be available to eligible applicants to assist with the financing improvements to the facade of an existing commercial building. This is the real public-facing one that all communities really want and desire. It's one of your earliest ones, and it seems to have really great popularity and success in Minto. The second one is building improvement and structural works grant. Again, this is dealing with structural buildings again, but the structure of the building, improving energy efficiency and enhance safety and accessibility. It's basically bringing a building back, its stock back into better repair from a disrepair situation. Building improvement structural work grant may be available to eligible applicants to assist with the financing improvements to an existing building. Number 5 on here, the third one I'm going to talk about right now, is the flood risk reduction grant. This was a necessity, I believe, came out of our last upgrade, intended to reduce the risk of flooding caused by sewer backup, storm runoff, and groundwater to the municipal sanitary sewer network. Flood risk reduction measures is really what we're looking at here, and residential commercial properties in flooding affected areas that are identified in the Harrison Flood Mitigation Plan are eligible for this plan. Next slide. Number 6, the fourth one I'm talking about, is Community Planting and Stewardship Grant. Is really about intending to encourage tree planting and stewardship to increase canopy cover in Minto. It's more of an environmental response to provide shade, improve air quality, enhance woodlots, and certainly reducing the risk of wind and snow along municipal and county roads. The application fee grant number 8, any costs associated with improvements to private property, the application fee grant may be available to help with those costs. Number 9, which was the last of the existing programs, is what we call a TEAG, or tax increment equivalent grant. It's intended to stimulate investment. So it's trying to get folks in to do things by effectively deferring part of the increase of property taxation related to eligible new development. So as we all know, we improve our building, our taxes go up. This is one of those things that were used to offset that pressure. So we'll move into the new ones as part of this update. The Interior Leasehold Improvement Grant, basically intended to support new business startups and the expansion of existing businesses. It supports property owner attracting new businesses, leaseholders to vacant units. Examples of eligible costs could be change, repair, reinstallation of flooring, ceiling, walls, fixed cabinets, and other structurally permanent elements. Some painting or repainting, resurfacing. Interior signage falls under this one, any restoration of historic features. So that's a new one here. The value of the grant is suggested to be about 50% of the eligible cost before tax to the maximum total of $5,000. Number 4, property improvement grant is really intended to promote aesthetic, accessibility, and functional improvements to existing commercial properties, assist with the financing improvements to an existing commercial property. Landscape features, including trees, planting beds, and turf, additional permanent landscaping elements. If you need fencing, outdoor patios, fixed seating, planters and lighting, or the upgrade of walkways, this is the grant you'd go through. A lot of these tend to be in commercial areas. These properties tend to be in commercial areas where they were developed at a time where you just didn't have good public facing or separation between the business activity and the right of way. So this is one of those that helps us on the street and provides a better opportunity for some of our businesses. Number 7, the next one is talking about the licensed home care child grant, very popular. Seemed like everyone was wanting this one. So supporting improvements to private property to meet the requirements of licensed home child care providers is defined by the counties, the Wellington County's Home Child Care, as well as the Ministry of Education. Repair, replacement, installation of fire protection systems, and then of indoor play space, outdoor play spaces, sleeping, resting areas, eating areas, and diapering toilet areas are all examples of eligible costs. This one is about 50% of the eligible cost before tax, maximum of $2,000 for this one. Next slide is really about implementation. The town's been doing this for quite a long time now. Not much has changed on this. The only thing probably would be the third one down, applying for incentives. With this effort comes a refreshed application package for the economic development officer to use. But basically, the administration, financial management, and the application is all the same. The marketing and monitoring, again, is really on the town to do as much as they really want to do on those fronts. And the best plans tend to be the ones that are marketed and have really easy application cycles. Other than that, this plan is ready to go. It's a draft final, no changes forthcoming as far as we know. We've had our public meeting, statutory public meeting. We're waiting for our 20-day appeal period to be done with, and then we're ready to go. It is done now, actually. You're right. It is done. Other than that, I can answer questions. If not, I have Belinda's name on the screen and she can take it from here.
Belinda, do you have anything to add?
I have a report.
Yes. Or do we want to ask questions first or do both? Maybe there'll be less questions after you speak.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay.
So my report basically summarizes everything that Sean has said. We have worked together for a very long time. We were fortunate to have CAO White as a planner who was able to update the previous plans. Quite a few other municipalities within Wellington County are using Sean's company to update their CIPs. So it just made sense to continue working with them. We did our strat plan last year, if you recall. We did our BRNE surveys this summer. All of this led to where we are today. So we've had a lot of community engagement with the public, with our businesses, staff, as Sean mentioned. Gordon Terry were engaged in the process with me, and I'm developing these programs and providing input. Really happy with the alignment with the county programs. Our previous plan, it was approved before the counties. And when they introduced new programs, our businesses didn't have access to some of them because we didn't have them within our plan. Now that exists. One of the key things that I want to mention is our property tax equivalent grant program now will fund properties that are multi-res with at least 12 units of apartments. So that is a new thing that we're happy to try and encourage some mixed use and apartment dwellings. And the other change I wanted to point out is in the past, these grants have gone through our Economic Development and Planning Committee, as you all know, and then they come to council as a recommendation. With that committee only meeting quarterly now, I was bringing reports here to council, like emailing reports to them, getting approval online, the bringing reports here. Many of the grants are under $10,000. So we had this idea of the implementation committee, which is Gord, Terry, and myself. We typically review these advance of those meetings anyway. We will have the ability to approve any grants under $10,000. The ECDEV committee did want to see anything over $10,000. So through this process, through this update, we will have ability to approve anything under 10, over 10 to them, and then to council. So I just wanted to make sure you're aware of that. And then our proposed budget for 2026 for this program is $45,000. So I don't know if there's any questions that Sean or I could answer.
Questions? Go ahead, Councillor Elliott.
Yes, either one of you. I know in the past we brought this forward, and I'm wondering how long these people, like, would they get these incentives build whatever the building, and then whoops, I've got a great marketplace. Now I can sell my place and use it to make money. Is there an incentive to keep?
Not a
running
lot
it?
of, I'm thinking back on the properties, and to be honest, I can't think, well, one now is available for sale for different reasons, but all the rest of the people have significantly invested in their properties, and they're still owning those properties. Just as some examples, like the old post in Harriston,
Yes.
the building in Palmerston where the bakery and the hearing clinic is, the other building across the road in Palmerston where the law office and Gima Homes is, in Clifford where Brett Young Seeds is. There's many like significant grants there that those people still own the properties. So this is really seen as like an incentive to fix those up. And as we continue to see people want us investing in our downtowns and the building stock that's there, and this helps encourage businesses into those too. So
So you
Yeah.
probably don't have any, you would know if they're trying to abuse the system pretty well and who's applying and what they're applying for.
yes, I would think so. Have you seen, I don't see any abuse.
No, wow.
Doesn't like it, Jerry.
Apparently not. I talk too much. No, I haven't seen anyone even attempt to abuse the system, but at the same time, if they're investing in improving the building, whether they retain ownership of it or sell it down the road, it's a benefit to the town and they need to spend their own money to improve it. So it's not just we're giving them $2,000, they do $2,000 worth of fixing up and then call it a day.
Yep, I didn't mean to be negative about it, but I think the program's great. I support it 100%.
Counselor Potnovitz.
Yes, through you, Mayor. How much more is this going to add to our budget? Now, you're going to have to set money aside for these grants, right?
Yeah, so this is already in our budget. At times when this program first started, we had 15,000, but at that time it was really facade and signage. At one point, we got up to having $100,000 in grants available, and that's when we saw significant uptake on those structural grants and major investments taking place. Since that happened, we've cut them back each time because the need wasn't there as much because those buildings had been improved. So this year we actually went from like 2025, we went from 50 to 35 and used that difference to pay for Sean's services for this update. So then next year we're going back to 45. So we're actually still under, and it's already in the operating budget. And I did note, sorry, in my report, just the return on investment from 2009. It's not working? No?
Is it picking it up?
Sorry, from 2009 till 2024, so 15 years, over $900,000 has been given out in grants and over $3 million in projects has been undertaken. So it is a significant return in seeing improvements in the community.
Other questions? Go ahead. Counselor Dirksen.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. I'm curious, do all municipalities in Ontario have a CIP?
I wouldn't say all municipalities, but like a good number of them, and they're grown in popularity. Sean could probably speak more to it. We've had ours for a long time, and since then, more and more people have taken them up, and especially our structural grant program was, I think, kind of like ahead of its time, and a lot of people have since kind of robbed and duplicated that program as well.
Yeah, just from something you said, it almost sounded like it was legislated that municipalities have a CIP. Is that true?
You have to have a CIP in place to be able to give grants to businesses.
Oh, okay. Okay, and then can I ask another question?
Yes, go ahead.
So there are 9 programs. Are all of those 9 programs available here in Minto?
Those are the 9 programs that we're proposing to be available in Minto.
Okay.
Yes, correct.
Okay. Because
Some of them get
some of them
get
get
taken up, some of them don't. Yeah.
Sure.
We've had lots of programs. Like, for example, we had a brownfield program, a brownfield teague. We never had one application, so we've removed it from the program. Other ones we've had that we combined into one was like we used to have a storefront accessory grant program that covered like planters, bike racks, benches.
Right.
We also have an outdoor patio grant program. Those were combined into one along with some other things for that property improvement grant. So yeah, they exist. Sometimes people apply, sometimes people don't. There's obviously more popular programs that you hear more of.
That's great. And would there be a possibility of the list of approvals every quarter, for instance, to go to the Economic Development Planning Committee or directly here?
Yeah, for
something so
sure.
that we can kind of keep an eye on.
Yeah, for sure. So you can aware of what's happening. Yeah, we
Yeah,
can definitely do
that'd
that.
be great.
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
I think in your report, every time you report, Belinda, you always put what the grants, the amount that we're giving out and what's left in the account.
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
So I'm going to check your memory. 2009, how many, there's 9 on it today.
I could look it
No, that's
up and
fine.
tell you, but I don't
So
remember
likely
off the top of my
Likely
head.
the facade was on there, likely, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
facades and signage were our first program. Yeah.
Councillor Potnovitz?
That's through you, Mayor Turton. I may have missed it, but is there any incentive or grants for accessibility buildings?
Yes. Yep. It's part of our structural grant program. So,
Okay.
for example, we just did an accessibility audit of our downtowns, and she has suggestions for each of the storefronts in all 3 downtowns, and we'll be taking those suggestions to them along with these grant opportunities that they can access to help them become more accessible. Mhm.
Okay, there's no other questions? Then I'm going to recommendation moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Councillor Zimmerman, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receive report ECDAV 2025-020, Community Improvement Plan Update 2025, prepared by the Director of Economic and Development, Community Development for information purposes, and further that the Council of the Town of Minto receives the updated Community Improvement Program as presented by plural, and further that the mayor and the clerk be authorized to sign a bylaw to adopt the new community improvement program. If there's no other questions, then I'm going to call the question. All in favor of the motion? Great. So, Sean, question for you. How far do you go back? Do you go right back to 2009 with Minto?
On CIPs, I do.
Yes,
I go
yeah.
a little further actually on other things, but
Yeah.
with CIPs for sure.
Well, thank you. We really appreciate your support on this. I know it's a very worthwhile process, and we thank you, and good luck to you. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Thank you all.
So we're now into public question period. And the mayor, as chair of the meeting, has a duty to preserve order and maintain decorum throughout the meeting. Although council strives to hear and be responsive to resident concerns in order to preserve order, maintain decorum, and comply with the town's procedural bylaw, I wish to caution any participants in question period that, number one, questions that use discourteous language will not be permitted. Number two, questions that seek policies or bylaws outside the town's jurisdiction, including policies or bylaws that might violate human rights legislation, will not be permitted. Number three, anything that constitutes speeches or statements not in the form of a question will not be permitted. Number four, repeat questions will not be permitted, including the repetition of questions from prior meetings. And number five, all persons shall be limited to no more than 2 questions. Stating all that, do we have any questions in question period? So let's move on to correspondence. Received for information. I've got a recommendation moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the council receives the correspondence as information. Got quite a slew here today. Is there anything that we want to pull out and have more information? Go ahead, Deputy Mayor Anderson.
First letter there, Protect Our Food Act. I would like to suggest that we support that and a letter of communication to other, our Ontario food belt's pretty important to us, and you know there's a big push for development, but we can build all the houses we like, but if we don't have any land, we can't feed them.
Okay, we'll lump them all together if you don't mind?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, actually, if we can have a motion
Okay.
for each one.
All right.
just So we can, if you don't mind, sorry.
You want to put that
I'll
in
make
form
that
of
motion,
motion?
please.
Do we have a seconder then? Thank you, Councillor Zimmerman. Others?
And we can have a vote on that. Sorry,
Uh,
if I can, it'd just be that the council of the town of Minto supports the township of Center Wellington's Bill 21 Protect Our Food Act resolution.
Mhm.
Is that?
Okay, all in favor of that motion? That's carried. Thank you. Others? Okay, seeing none. I'm going to call the question on the original motion. All in favor of receiving correspondence?
Sorry, if we need to have a mover and seconder for that one.
Okay, so we have Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Gunson. The council received the correspondence as information. Okay. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you. Okay, so we have some committee minutes. We have the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee minutes of October 23rd, and I'll ask Belinda Wick-Graham to find a mic that works.
Yep, I think
and
we're
give a
good here.
report.
Yep, thank you. Thank you, Mayor Turton. The DEI highlights from the October 23rd meeting. At the last meeting, I think I prefaced I'd be giving you lots of updates at this one. So the Indigenous event, Truth and Reconciliation event, held September 27th, was a great success. It was sold out with activities at the Norgan and then as well at the TP. So kudos to the committee that led that. We also, as I mentioned, had Julie Sawchuk here for our community accessibility audits of our downtowns and our arena facilities. And then she did a public presentation. So the report is now in our hands and we are reviewing that to go over some quick win, low hanging fruit opportunities to pass along to our businesses as well as to implement here in our facilities. And then Quinn will be working on an update to our accessibility plan next year as well. So lots of good stuff to come forward from there. The clothing swap that was held at the end of October, again, had just under 100 people in attendance at that. It's the first one the group has done. Just special shout out to Dave and Jean Anderson for their support of that. The Grove Youth Hub, TG Minto, and Blessings to You, as well as the Harrison Kinsmen, all were great partners. And yeah, it was very successful. So they'll be looking at one in the spring. And then the group basically reviewed their days of significance calendar and went through all their action plans. So, any questions?
Questions for Belinda on the DEI minutes? The report from Julie Sawchuk, have we seen that?
Council has not seen that
Okay.
yet, no.
That
But
was
we
in-
can share that with you.
That was our accessibility study from our downtowns. This young lady was in a wheelchair and she was amazing. An amazing lady, wasn't she? Wow. Looking forward to that. So
Yes.
I have a motion moved by Councillor Plotnovitz, second by Councillor Elliott, that the Council of Town of Minto receives the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee minutes of October 23rd, 2025, as information and approves any recommendation contained therein. So now I'm supposed to say, is there any questions? All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. Belinda, do you want to move into your second
Yep.
report?
Yep, this one's very easy. October 30th, the Economic Development Planning Committee met, and the goal of this meeting was to finalize our action plan for our business retention expansion project. So they went through all the actions identified and prioritized them. That was basically the focus of that meeting. And just a reminder that we will be hosting the BRNE Minto Means Business Breakfast next Thursday from 7:30 till 9 at the Harrison Community Center. So if you haven't registered, to please do so. We will be presenting the findings of the survey as well as the actions coming forward. So looking forward to that. And then I think that was basically it for that.
Okay, so we have a motion moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Dirksen. The Council of the Town of Minto receives the Economic Development Planning Committee minutes of October 30th, 2025 as information and approves any recommendation contained therein. Questions? That's our CIP at work. So, no questions, all in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you, Linda. Then we'll move into staff reports. And believe it or not, this has to do with ECDAF 2025-021 is the structural grant. PO 9 2626514 Ontario Limited to 18 Main Street, Palmerston. Belinda, please.
Yes. So speaking of the community improvement grant and structural improvements, this is another exciting one. This is for 262-6514 Ontario Limited in 218 Main Street West, Palmerston. So that is the teeny tiny tots building. The second floor was a vacant space. The new owners are proposing to put in 2 new apartments, 2 two-bedroom apartments, and they will be considered attainable. The proposed rental rate, I want to say, is around $1,400, which is good. And this is obviously a significant renovation, starting from scratch. The list of improvements is there. The cost is about $209,000, not including taxes for this work. Terry and I have reviewed the application, and similar to other buildings that they've done, we are in support of a $15,000 grant for this program. That would be a 14-to-1 investment. And if approved, that would leave us with $716.72 left for this year. And I will note that the County of Wellington has also reviewed this grant and is proposing a grant from the county as well. So definitely meeting a housing need.
Okay, so we have a recommendation moved by Councillor Plotnovich, seconded by Councillor Gunson, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report ACTEV 2025-021 and the structural grant P09 from 262-6514 Ontario Limited to 218 Main Street West, Palmerston, prepared by the Director of Economic and Community Development for information purposes. And further, that the Council of Town of Minto approve the structural grant P09 for $15,000. Questions? Go ahead, Councillor Elliott.
Terry, will there be parking available for this? Because I know it's always a struggle downtown.
There's no on-site parking for this property. Basically, its property line is front wall, back wall, but there are parking spaces available at the old 81 to be rented out. So there is local parking available if those people choose to or need to.
Sure, thanks.
They'll be hoping that their remote works from about teeny tiny down to old 81.
That's not very environmentally friendly, though.
You're right. Other questions? All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you very much, Belinda. Now we're going to move on to Mr. Zach Prince, County of Wellington Recommendation Report 239654 Ontario Inc. This is Doug Taylor, 6739 Wellington Road, 109 Piviotdale, draft plan of subdivision 23T-24005, and a zoning bylaw amendment, ZBA 2024-10. Zach, if you don't mind presenting, if your mic works.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And through the mayor, we just have a brief summary of our recommendation report. As you can see on the screen, this property is located in Tiviotdale. It's approximately 20 acres in size. Council may recall we had a public meeting in December 2024 to discuss potential rural industrial subdivision on these lands. At the public meeting, there were 2 members of the public that spoke. One located at the house, kind of in the north corner of the property near the police station, and then one to the south, Chalmers Fuels, which operates an existing propane storage business. So since the public meeting, we did provide an update memo to council in May 2025. Much of the discussion since the public meeting between the town and the applicant and the landowners has been around land use compatibility. The property to the north, the residential property, and this was mentioned at the public meeting as well too, the possibility of adding fencing or some kind of buffering. And staff have included that as a draft plan condition that will be assessed and determined at detailed design as to what exactly that looks like. Further, there is a site-specific zone placed on lots 1 to 3, which wouldn't permit outdoor storage, which was a recommendation through the applicant's noise study, also to address land use compatibility with that residential property. The fuel storage and handling business, Chalmers Fuels, provided details on their existing operations and planning opinions, as well as some expert opinions based on the risk of the propane storage, which Terry and I learned a lot about in the last year. So what we've proposed there, council may recall, in the May report was limiting some of the potential uses that are more sensitive in nature. So those would be uses that generally the public visits more often. So we've also proposed a site-specific zone to apply to those 3 lots. It was previously 5. The applicant revised the draft plan to have its only 3 lots are affected. And then the proposed zoning is attached to this report too, which outlines exactly those prohibited uses. There are a couple outstanding items included in the draft plan conditions regarding stormwater management and the Drainage Act. And that includes possible implications for the Drainage Act, which again would be assessed through detailed design. And then determined with the assistance of the town what exactly those requirements would be. The other change to the draft plan, on one of the properties, there's now shown a potential area for an easement for a shared fire reservoir system, which may or may not happen depending on kind of the feasibility of that system, which again would be reviews at the detailed design portion of the project. Many of the draft plan conditions relate to the municipal road, the design, construction, and ultimately the assumption of the municipal road, finalization of studies, the registration of easements, etc. And the draft plan conditions are also included in this report, which, should council support this application, should be forwarded on to the county as part of the approval. So just to summarize kind of the changes from the public meeting, adding site-specific zones to restrict different land uses to address compatibility, limiting the type of uses that would generate kind of more public and are therefore more sensitive uses. Reducing the municipal drain setbacks is also included in the proposed zoning, as the easement can, or sorry, the drain can be serviced through the easement as proposed. And then the last item is reducing the setback to the existing residence from 60 meters to 30 meters. And that's in part due to the buffering that's proposed for that lot adjacent to the police station there. So I'm here to answer any questions that council may have.
Thank you, Zach. So the recommendation is moved by Deputy Mayor Anderson, seconded by Councillor Dirksen, that the recommendation report dated November 7th, 2025, regarding the draft plan of subdivision and zoning bylaw amendment to facilitate the development of the Tiviotdale Industrial Subdivision 2396584 Ontario Inc. be received. The council supports the proposed draft plan of subdivision, and the town clerk notify the County of Wellington of this position, and that the council supports and approves the proposed zoning bylaw amendment. Questions? I have a question. The little tail on the back end, will that, the people that are managing that, maintaining it, will it be a problem? I mean, I can't think of anything, but it just looks so unique there, if you know what I mean.
Through the chair, it's definitely unusual. I think at the public meeting, it was suggested that the adjacent property could potentially acquire that piece. It's shown as a remnant block on the draft plan of subdivision,
Right.
so it would still be owned by the current owner once the finalization of the plan is complete. But it could be transferred to
Yeah,
other one. Sorry, and it is just being rezoned to open space as well too. So you wouldn't be able to actually build on that property because
Sure.
there is a drain through there.
Can I ask how wide that is? What's the width of that? Any idea? It's not important if you don't have that in your back pocket, Zach.
No.
So it's definitely not wide enough.
Through the chair, it was wide enough for potential access.
Right.
think looks like it's about 21 meters.
So what's being said here today is everybody, the parties involved are happy with where we're at. Okay, thumbs up, thank you. Okay. All right, then, I'm gonna call the question. All in favor of this motion? It's carried. Thank you very much. Second item is, again, Mr. Prince is going to present. It's the County of Wellington Recommendation Report, Cache Park Street Developments, Inc., 41 Park Street, West Clifford, zoning bylaw amendment, ZBA 2024-09, and draft plan of subdivision 23T. Sorry, you guys, I should have said, if you want to stay, you can. If not, thank you for coming. And I'll ask Zach to present again, please.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And through the mayor, just to highlight one thing right at the start of the report, the owner of the property is actually Clifford Park Street Developments, not Cache Park Street Developments.
Okay.
That's been corrected in the recommendation as well, too. As noted, this application, again, is for a draft plan of subdivision and zoning bylaw amendment. These lands council may be familiar with on the south end of Clifford. We have brought a couple other reports for council's consideration, including a recommendation report for the official plan amendment to redesignate these lands from future development to residential and prime agricultural to residential. That was in December 2024. Following the public meeting for all three applications in November 2024. The third report we've presented on was back in May 2025 with an update to the zoning bylaw, and staff here today are presenting our recommendation report for these applications. The application would create 188 residential dwellings, a mix of single detached and townhouse units. The zoning is proposed to go from future development and agricultural site specific to medium residential site specific, high density residential site specific, and open space. And that would align with the proposed draft plan of subdivision 23T 24003. The site specific zoning standards being requested are detailed in the report. We've attached a chart which kind of shows what was initially proposed, what was revised, and then what's being proposed today. So since the May meeting in the zoning, we've added more site-specific areas and site-specific zones. And these scope down some of the standards that rather than applying site-wide or applying to specific areas. That would probably be the largest change since the May report. And then within those site-specific zones, we have different requirements. So just for example, the lots on Park Street, we're proposing that those meet the front yard setbacks. So that increases the landscaped area a little bit on the lots on Park Street. The lot area, which was previously going to be applied to the whole site, the reduction now only applies to approximately 7 lots, where the road design kind of creates some lots with fewer depth. And then the one change to the draft plan as well relabels a block that was formerly a single detached dwelling proposed to residential reserve, and that would facilitate townhouse development in the future, assuming additional land is acquired to complete that block. The other item staff is proposing are holding bylaw provisions, which would apply across the site. There are a few concerns that staff have, which would be addressed through the zoning, largely related to external works. That would be the Park Street reconstruction, as well as the intersection design and construction, and the stormwater management system, including possible Drainage Act implications. Those are addressed through the holding bylaw provision and as conditions of draft approval as well. So in staff's opinion, we're well covered in those regards, no div concerns. And then the last piece to kind of highlight is there was 2 consent applications. One's been finalized. Another one hasn't quite been finalized this time, and that's proposed to be addressed through a draft plan condition as well too. That consent will need to be finalized to have this subdivision go forward.
So that consent is with the county, with your group.
It's been approved.
Yeah.
It's with the applicant to clear the conditions.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much, Zach. So we've got a recommendation moved by Councillor Gunson, seconded by Councillor Zimmerman, that recommendation report dated November 12th, 2025 regarding a draft plan of subdivision and zoning bylaw amendment for the Clifford Park Street Development subdivision be received, and that council supports the proposed draft plan of subdivision, and the town clerk notify the County of Wellington of this position, that the council supports and approves the proposed zoning bylaw amendments. Questions? Councillor Elliott.
Is there any place, any place to put snow for snow removal?
Would be the same as in any other subdivision. There'd be on the portion of the lawn. The reduction to the front yard setback, keep in mind, does include part of the grass boulevard area.
Okay.
So with the reduction, it's not right down to that 4.5 meters to the edge of the curb. There is additional land. So as long as we don't get a winter like we did last year, we should be golden.
Yeah, there's no snow removal anywhere there.
Last year was not fun.
That's right. Thanks.
Other questions? So number of years from now, when it's 188 units, is that what I heard? That's 188 dwellings.
Correct.
Capacity, and I know nobody's here to answer the question. I know the answer. We have lots of capacity at our waste treatment plant in Clifford. So we're good to go, unless you want to speak on that, Terry?
I don't know the number exactly, but we definitely have capacity to support this subdivision.
Okay. Otherwise, we wouldn't be talking about it.
Exactly.
Other questions? Okay, I'm going to call anything that you gentlemen want to say? No? Okay. Thumbs up. I like that. All right. All in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you very much. So next step in this.
So the next step would be for the applicant to complete their detailed design work and then address the subdivision conditions to get final approval, and then we can get a shovel in the ground. There is the option of obtaining a site alteration bylaw, which would allow you to do some of the pre-grading work before they do get final approval.
Okay. Thank you, and good luck, gentlemen. Thanks for coming. Next item on the list, and tell you guys the same thing. You can leave right now if you want. If not, you can stay. We have a PW 2025. Same thing with you, Zach. If you want to hang around because you enjoy this stuff. Municipal Drain 3 Improvement and Extension Report Referral. I'm going to ask Mr. Binkley to give this report.
Thank you, Mayor Turton. Just some background on this improvement project. The project originated as a Section 74 request for maintenance to Municipal Drain 3. During that process, in communication with the landowners, multiple of them requested new crossings, which has to be done under an improvement project, which council initiated by appointing Streamline Engineering in February 18th of 2025. Since that initiated, even more the landowners requested more crossings, and a petition for a drain extension was also filed to extend the drain into Wellington North further to service some more properties. So Streamline Engineering completed the engineering report and filed it with the municipality on August 27th, 2025. So typically, this is the point in the process where the engineer would present the report to council. However, it's been determined that there's some revisions that are required that will necessitate an addendum to that report. So in the interest of being efficient and to avoid extra time and costs, staff is recommending that we refer that report back to the engineer at this point. So the addendum will address concerns relating to the inclusion of the cost of the drain maintenance within the engineer's report. Streamline Engineering has confirmed that they intend to complete the addendum this year so that we will be able to present the report at the December 16th meeting. And they've also indicated that there'll be no extra cost for engineering for this addendum. So if you have any questions, please let me know.
Okay, so we have a recommendation moved by Councillor Zimmerman, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that the Council of the Town of Minto hereby receives report PW 2025-024, Municipal Drain 3 Improvement and Extension Report Referral, prepared by the Drainage Superintendent for information purposes, and further that the Municipal Drain Number 3 Improvement and Extension Report prepared by Streamline Engineering, dated August 26, 25, be referred back to the engineer for modifications. Questions? This one starts in Wellington North.
The top end of the drain is being extended into Wellington North where their water flows through Minto.
Okay. No questions? Okay, all in favor of the motion? That's carried. Thank you very much. Announcements. Councillor Dirksen, do you want to start?
I could do that. Just wanted to mention Remembrance Day. Services were well attended in both Clifford and Harriston, and I saw pictures in Palmerston, and so it looks like that was very well attended as well. In Harriston, the kids from Minto Clifford, from I'm not sure what grade up, probably grade 4 or so, walked uptown, and they were good as gold. They were incredibly well behaved. And so thanks to Branch 296 and the cadets and the public for an excellent service. And then on the 10th, I know Councillor Zimmerman and I'm not sure if anyone else was at Norwell that day. Well, there were a lot of other people, but I'm not sure whether anyone else around this table was there. That's what I mean. Anyways, we were invited to see an excellent presentation. I'm going to say it's by the Norwell Drama Club, or maybe it's a class. I'm not exactly sure. Yeah. But anyways, that teacher deserves a medal for sure. But anyways, the kids, it was mostly through acting and mostly in mime. And then there was multimedia, so there was videos as well. And the kids had put all of this together. And so they just did an awesome job. And I don't want to forget to mention that the band also entertained. So we do need to mention them. And there were students from the feeder schools in attendance at that presentation as well. And they just did, they again, were just super well behaved. So, yeah, I'll let you carry on. I was gonna announce something, but I'm sure it's on your list. Well, I was gonna talk about the Santa Claus parades, but you can talk about those. Okay, so the parades. So the parades are Friday nights, the 22nd and the 20. No, yes. No, now I haven't got it. I don't have it written down. 22nd and 29th. So those are Friday evenings, right? So they are at 7 o'clock. They're Saturdays. They're Saturdays.
They're all
in
Saturdays.
Palmerston. Oh, they're all Saturdays?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought Palmerston was different. Okay. They're all Saturdays. So 22nd, 29th, and the 6th of December, I think it is. It works out too. So those parades are all start at 7 o'clock. So easy to remember. The only thing that would make it easier is if they were alphabetical in order, and they're not quite. So we start in Harriston, then we go to Clifford, and then we go to Palmerston. So looking forward to that and seeing lots of people out.
Thank you, Councillor Dirksen. Is the one in Palmerston at 7 p.m. or is it 6?
They all start at 7.
They do?
Yeah.
Okay, 7, my calendar, it's at 6, but
I think that's what time we're supposed to be there.
okay. All right, thank you. Councillor Dirksen, go ahead. Councillor Zimmerman.
Oh, thank you, Mayor Turton. I don't mind if I do. So, I just have to copy Councillor Dirkson's Remembrance Day remarks about the program at Norwell. If they do it again next year, I'd certainly encourage everyone, if they can, to come there. They made a presentation about not only how the wars, but also tied to local war heroes, and it was quite touching. I'm certainly glad I went. Minto is, man, it doesn't matter what week, it's always happening in Minto. So this Thursday, coming November 20th, Palmerston All Aboard is hosting Chris Kringle Market from 4 to 8 o'clock. Downtown Palmerston, going to be food trucks, over 40 Minto artisan vendors, exclusive business deals. Please bring a food bank donation, drop it off at the Minto information booth, and you can spin to win a prize of some sort. Cody, the DJ, is going to be spinning holiday tunes for your enjoyment. And then again, we mentioned Saturday's parade in Harrison, but little side note, our firefighters are sponsoring a 2-hour public skate at the arena from 4 until 6 o'clock, and a chance to meet Santa Claus. How about that? Yes, and on the 29th, again in Clifford, is the parade. Clifford Connects is hosting Winter Magic Market in the community hall, something a little different this year. Outside, there's going to be horse and wagon rides for anybody that's interested. I noticed in Palmerston last week, it was well attended, the horse and buggy ride, so crazy. So up in the Clifford Hall, they've got a vendor's market as well. Even got a table, you can try making your own craft, something a little different. Photo opportunities with some crazy characters, and kind of a unique sort of thing is an ugly sweater competition. So bring your worst looking Christmas sweater and parade up on stage, maybe you win a prize. After that, you can meet Santa Claus back at the fire hall and have a barbecue, and you'll get a treat bag. And then, of course, photos of Santa. And there's umpteen more things to do, so you shouldn't be bored.
Okay.
Thank you, Councillor Zimmerman. Deputy Mayor Anderson.
Yes, it's certainly a busy time. I was at the Remembrance Day service up in Clifford. It was cold, it was nasty, but there was a good number of people that stood there through the weather. It was not nice, and I missed the celebration at school because I had to work in Platoon. When I got there, it all looked like it was all quiet. Apparently everybody walks. I didn't want to barge into the middle of the city. Sorry, I missed it. Things to do and things to be and things to attend are unbelievable right now. The light up the park was amazing. Hundreds of people. I don't know how many people there were, but there were hundreds.
They thought about 2,000.
Really?
Yes.
It was unbelievable.
They had 1,000 last year, or more than 1,000. They thought it doubled.
And it didn't snow, so it was lovely, and the kids thoroughly enjoyed it. Our grandkids did anyway. Great. Tomorrow night, is it tomorrow night, Wednesday? National Housing Day has a screening of a movie called Bridging Divides at the Northern Theater for anybody interested in our attempts or projects or ongoing work to provide homes for homelessness for homeless people. I don't know if you need a ticket for that. We're booked to go, but I don't know if you actually have to get a ticket or not. And like there's just umpteen. The Chris Kringle Market has already been mentioned. There's things to do. So anybody who says there's nothing to do around here, just go out. There's something going on every night. It's impossible to list them all, but you could be busy every night. And kudos to all of those who volunteered to have these things happen.
Thank you. Councillor Elliott.
Yeah, and Palmerston for Remembrance Day, we went to the dinner, and there was a speaker there, and he spoke on homelessness for veterans. And they have a program across Canada and in different cities where they supply like a village of small homes, and people live in those homes, and they hope they graduate out of that and then come back into the the world, I guess, or back into the lives that they wanted to start with. A lot of the homelessness is because of psychological PST and such like that. It's very interesting. So I'll maybe bring some of that information and find out more about it, and maybe somehow in Wellington County or even in our local town that we could get involved in doing something like that. I can't remember the number. Do you remember, Gene, what the numbers were? 30,000 or something?
Oh, you mean the number of veterans?
Oh,
who are-
yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Yes.
And these enclaves are in groups of 20, so that, oh, sorry. They're in groups of 20, the homes are, so that
Yeah.
each door faces other people
Yes.
of like mind, so that they build communities. They say they've tried to do it in larger groups and it doesn't work as well. And I think the understanding is that they're there for a year in best circumstances until they get rehabilitated and able to enter back in. They can stay longer if they need to, but then it gets recycled, so
They
they're
have a,
constantly new
they have a
people.
hall there that they
Yeah.
congregate and such
Yeah,
like.
it-
So
it
it was
was-
very interesting.
It was a very interesting presentation.
And I think the closest one we have now, it's being built in London. So we can find out more about that. It was well attended. We had 27 of us Lions attended that, and they brought their numbers up to 90 for dinner. And after talking to many of our Lions after, they thought it was so good and so good to remember this, that they hope to attend every year now. And we used it as part, instead of having our Lions meeting, we used it as part of our Lions meeting and attended it. Secondly, and sad note, Bob Emerson, which we all know, he received a senior award. He passed away, and there's going to be a celebration of life at the arena, Palmerston Arena, and I think it's from 1 to 5 on the 20th, same day as Chris Kringle. So if you could attend, or if you wish to attend, you're welcome to do that. And it's open to come and go kind of thing. So that's all I have.
Well, thank you. Councilor Potnitz.
I had nothing other than just, Deputy Mayor mentioned the Light Up the Park event. I just want to mention that the fireworks was spectacular. And the same gentleman that did the fireworks there is doing the fireworks for the Fire and Ice event this year.
Thank you. Councilor Benson.
Thanks, Mayor Turton. Excited to announce that the ice is in Hairston and it's in full swing, so that's exciting. So weekdays, there's skating Mondays and Wednesdays in Hairston at 2 to 3, and Tuesdays and Thursday in Palmerston from 11:45 to 12:45. There is also stick and puck and public skating in those arenas as well. So check the calendar, get out on the ice, and use it.
Are they sponsored, those events, or are they have to pay?
I believe so.
I
Yeah,
think
they
they
are.
are.
I'll get back to you, Ron, on who it is. And I got to spend the whole week at the Royal Winter Fair, and it was exciting. A lot of familiar faces down there, believe it or not. So it was a good time.
Were you the reserve? Or what do they call the
Reserve what?
reserve grand champion?
So my sister-in-law won the world champion for her Hackney pony, and my daughter won reserve in the junior road pony class for Hackney pony. So
World championship.
very exciting.
Congratulations.
Very
Wow.
nice.
Beautiful horse.
I had nothing to do with it.
Will there be a presentation here with a world championship? I would think so.
Good luck getting her here, but you can try.
Well, okay.
I'll leave that up to you.
Right.
Yeah, I just want to throw, sorry, go ahead, Mr.
I just
Zimmerman.
wanted to interject that public skating is sponsored by Blessings. So just a little plug for them for sure. And I did take part yesterday down in Hairston.
You were
I
skating?
didn't fall, so it was a good day.
So you wear a helmet? You don't?
Don't need a helmet for this.
Boards are good.
So I'd just like to throw my appreciation out there to our legions, for sure, when they put on all their festivities at the cenotaphs. It's a wonderful tribute to our fallen soldiers, and the positive comments that I've received from the maintenance that was done on the cenotaphs. Our staff, I know our staff work hard, putting up banners, taking banners down. I'm I'm amazed at how they do it so quickly, but they do a great job. And I just like to throw a shout out to them and let them know that we certainly appreciate them. They're beautiful Christmas decorations. The other thing, Mark Robinson, if anybody watches Facebook, I was talking to him downtown there last Friday night in Palmerston, and he has a drone. And it's amazing. He did the Palmerston Light Up the Park and put it on Facebook. It's certainly worthwhile. It's amazing. He showed the fireworks and the Palmerston sign and all the people. It was pretty impressive. So, other than that, thank you. Move along to noted announcements. We've got moved by Councillor Elliott, second by Councillor Gunson, that the committee of the whole convene into regular council. All in favor of the motion? And then we got notices of motion. Anything under that heading? Okay, we've got moved by Councillor Potnovitz, second by Councillor Dirksen, that the Council of Town of Minto ratifies the motions made in committee of the whole. All in favor of the motion? It's carried. Thank you. Bylaws, moved by Councillor Zimmerman, second by Councillor Gunson, that bylaws 2025-066 through 2025-068 be approved and read a first, second, and third time, passed in open council, sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of the bylaw? That's carried. Thank you. Conformatory, moved by Councillor Elliott, seconded by Deputy Mayor Anderson, that bylaw 2025-069 to confirm actions to the council of the Corporation Town of Minto respecting a meeting held November 18th, 2025, be read a first, second, and third time and passed in open council and sealed with the seal of the corporation. All in favor of that motion? Good, that's carried. Thank you. Adjournment, moved by Councillor Dirksen, second by Councillor Gunson, that the Council of Town of Minto adjourn to meet again at the call of the mayor. All in favor of the motion? Thank you very much for a very productive meeting. 1 hour and a half. Wow.